Hello and welcome to Raising Those Spirits. I'm Steve,
And I'm Sam.
and we're back again after we were both away on vacation slash business trips. So,
It's true. I was in lovely Las Vegas, which I talked a little bit about last week. I was not excited to go. Yeah, changed my mind. Did a complete 180. I totally had a great time.
I'm glad to hear
Uh,
that.
yeah, I had a really good time in Vegas. Didn't do any gambling. I think I put $1 in a slot machine and lost it immediately. Um, which it's fine. I think if I had won, it probably would have triggered something in me. But I lost my dollar and I was able to move on and do other things. I mean, mostly I was there for work, so mostly I was sitting in conference rooms listening to people talk about enrollment technology, which is a blast. But I did get out. I saw a show. I did go to one experience called Meow Wolf. And if anybody's in Las Vegas or one of their other locations, I definitely recommend it. It was super cool.
It's just a fun name.
Yeah. It's there's a couple of them I think through the Southwest. It's Meow Wolf. Each location has its own theme. So the one I went to was called the Omega Mart, and it is the weirdest thing. It starts like it feels like you're walking into a supermarket, but all the products on the shelves are really strange.
I've heard
And
about
they're all for
that.
yeah, they're all for sale too. So I ended up buying a bunch of merch. Yeah, the deeper you go into the supermarket, the weirder it gets, and it gets like it basically turns into a really really elaborate fun house.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I absolutely recommend it. I thought it was $60. I thought it was going to be kind of a rip off, but I had the afternoon to myself one of the days I was there, and I was like, well, I might as well make the most of it and check this out because I had heard so much about it, and I had an awesome time. I loved it.
That's great to hear because, yeah, I think I saw like a highlight video on it on like Instagram or one of those things. Was like, that place looks awesome. That place is on the other side of the country.
Yeah. Um, no, it was one of the things where that was the moment, and this was literally the first day I was there that I said to myself, you know what? I'm actually going to plan a trip back to Las Vegas with my family so that we could enjoy it. Um, I also went to saw a performance called Absinthe, which was in this little theater that's right on the front lawn of Caesar's Palace. And it was like a vaudeville style variety show. It was really raunchy and there were a lot of really really interesting like acrobatic acts and like striptease acts, and it closed out with a tap dancing act that was just phenomenal. So I recommend that too if you're in Las Vegas. I think they've been around for a while. It was so much fun.
Awesome. Glad you had a good trip.
Yeah.
I went to the Finger Lake as
Ooh,
my
that's nice.
yeah, we just hit the one. So, but it
Just
was
the
good.
one.
Well, we were my extended family was there for like a long week, but I don't get PTO, so we were there for like 3.5 days, and we really just toured around that one lake where Watkins Glen is. But it was really nice.
Oh yeah, my parents love the Finger Lakes. I've always wanted to get up there.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it was going to be kind of overhyped, although Watkins Glen has always been on my bucket lists. And no, it's really nice up there.
All right, so we both had fun.
Yeah, so did you find a cryptid out there for us?
Oh yes, but it was funny. You had Ohio last time, and in my head I was like, the next one up is Oregon. Grab at Oklahoma, but don't worry. Did my research, found out in Oklahoma, in a few of their lakes, the lakes of Oklahoma, there have been stories of people who have been pulled under the depths and drowned by the giant Oklahoma octopus. Steve, I know what you're saying to yourself, that octopus do not live in fresh water. They only live in salt water. And that's a very good point. And if I remembered the names of the lakes and told you the names of those lakes, which I saw on the website, but I don't have it up right now, and I'm not going to put back up, you'd say, Sam, all of those lakes are man made lakes. How is it possible that a giant octopus could be hiding in a man made lake? And the theory goes that these giant octopuses actually once lived in the rivers of Oklahoma. And then when they dammed the rivers to make the lakes, they moved from the rivers into the lakes. So if you're swimming in a man-made lake in Oklahoma, you have to be very, very careful because you might fall victim to the giant octopuses of Oklahoma.
Are they saltwater rivers?
No, they're freshwater. These are freshwater giant octopuses.
Hmm.
Hmm. Beware those tentacles.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, no. This was published in Scientific American, Steve.
Well,
Their
then,
opinion blog, if you look it up now, they will tell you that this does not necessarily reflect the opinions of Scientific American. Uh, but they did publish it, and they can't take that back.
oh my god.
I love the idea that in a landlocked state, there could potentially be sea creatures that could only possibly live in the greatest depths of the ocean. I mean,
There.
let's be honest. We know that somewhere out there is a octopus larger than we've ever imagined. We just haven't seen it. Like there definitely does exist some kind of giant octopus because we know there's giant squid.
I mean, Cthulhu.
Yeah, I mean, all sorts of eldritch horrors. And I mean, the scariest thing about octopuses, they're very, very, very intelligent. So if there's a giant octopus living in Oklahoma with its giant octopus brain, they're smarter than the rest of us. That's why they're so good at hiding.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably how it stayed hidden this long.
Yeah, no, they could just outsmart people. Don't go swimming in Oklahoma.
Anyone who they can't outsmart, they just drag to the briny depths.
Yeah, probably the people that got drowned were getting too close to figuring out the truth, and the octopus was like, "Not happening, sir.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
today. Not when I got these tentacles."
It's the only rational explanation.
They got twice as many limbs as you do, and they know how to use them.
That's the movie tagline.
Ooh, I would watch this on the Sci-Fi Channel, produced by the Asylum.
I mean, there's one that we watched called River Sharks, which is, basically it's a sharks. And it's
Same idea.
Oh, sorry, no, this one is Dam Sharks. But same exact concept. And yeah, Dam Sharks is hilarious. We love it. So, I can't wait.
Let's write this movie. We're going to sell it to the Asylum, and we're going to make easily hundreds of dollars.
Oh man, then we can do River Octopus versus Dam Sharks.
I mean, we'd have to.
I mean, I think it would probably be an Asylum's contract. It's like if you make a monster movie, that monster is available for any other monster movie crossover we can think of.
Like any kind of shark or other animal hybrid, it's going to have to fight. And I'm fine with that.
In fact, I encourage
want
it.
that. Yeah.
Oh my god. So what are you drinking tonight, Sam?
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you a little story about Las Vegas because I don't have any alcohol. It's too hot. Did I ever tell you about the time I tried to invent a cookie cup? I feel like I must have told you this story.
It rings a little bell, but if you told me again, it wouldn't hurt.
All right. So there was a day. This is, I don't know, it had to have been like 15 years ago. Sometime before I met my wife, I think, or probably just before I met my wife. I was inebriated, and I had this idea of a cookie cup, which is a cup made out of cookie that you could fill with a milkshake, so that when you're done drinking the milkshake, you could eat the cookie cup.
So this is kind of just like a waffle bowl, but made out of cookie?
Very similar. So me and my roommates at the time spent one very drunk afternoon experimenting with all sorts of pre-packaged cookie dough, trying to invent the cookie cup. And then we were not having any luck, and I called up my father, who's a chef, and I asked him like, "How would this work? How could I make this work?" And he tells me it's not going to work because you'd have to. As soon as you put the milk in, it's going to get soggy and it's going to fall apart. And I was like, "Dad, you don't know what you're talking about." Eventually, I get so drunk I gave up. And I said, one day I'm going to invent this cookie cup. And I never did because I'm lazy. Lo and behold, I'm in Las Vegas. And I'm walking through Caesar's Palace. And they have a robot that has cookie cups. Vegas is filled with vending machines. I saw a pizza vending machine. I saw a cake vending machine. And then I saw this robot vending machine with cookie cups. And what they did was they filled the inside with chocolate. And so you order your cookie cup through the robot, and it gives you the cookie cup with the chocolate filling, and then it's a shot of milk. It was $9, and of course I got one, and it was delicious. It was absolutely, absolutely delicious. I was very angry at this robot, but I can't tell you the robot put out a bad product. It was a good product. Um, and it was very enjoyable. So next time you're at Caesar's Palace, seek out the cookie cup robot. It's $9, but super good.
Is there still
And I also
Go ahead.
no, also from that same day, it was attached to a restaurant. The restaurant I got an ice cream sandwich that was on a cronut. I took one bite of this thing, and literally the song "Heaven Is a Place on Earth" started playing over the speakers in this casino.
All
One of the best
right.
things I've ever eaten in my life. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Is there one of them in Atlantic City? A
Caesars?
Caesars?
I don't remember. Maybe I haven't been
Because
to Atlantic City in a number of years.
I've last time I was in Atlantic City was when we were filming a movie there.
That had to have been 16, 17 years ago.
You are very correct.
Oh my god. Did
Um,
that ever come out? I remember we saw pictures from it, but I don't think that movie ever came out.
yeah, I have a copy of it. You want me to? I think it's on the Plex. All right.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
So in the Finger Lakes, actually, we ended up at this like outdoor like barbecue kind of place, but it was like indoor outdoor. It was almost like you're in like it's like old school barbecue joint. You know what I mean? Where like the sides go up, but you're still inside, and it was hot. The AC was broken. Um, there was one guy working the grill. The food was amazing, but and it was so hot I almost passed out. But I ended up
Oh,
having a shandy by Down, or not a shandy, a cider by Down East Cider.
okay. I like that brand.
Yeah, we'd had their like normal stuff, but they have a guava passion fruit craft cider right now that
Oh
is
damn.
so refreshing in this heat, Sam. Like, it's one of
Um,
the only things that got us through that restaurant. It was so hot.
oh my god.
And we were eating, like, hot barbecue and stuff, but the guava passion fruit cider by Down East is. It's one of those, like, dangerously drinkable ones.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds so good right now.
Down East is actually in Boston, and they have a few flavors that look really good that you can only get if you go like to their. They have both a beer garden and like a factory tour, and so we've been
Mm.
considering going up to Boston just to check one of the two of them out.
Let me know when.
Yep,
I will blow off any other commitments I have.
awesome. All right, so we watched The Hobbit.
That's right, the 70s version, not the 2000 whatever version.
Yeah, the 1977 animated Hobbit by Rankin Bass. Was this your first time seeing it?
It was. Although I have a history with this movie, I'll tell you about it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, for when I was young, I was under the impression that the author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings was my father. Um, because he would have me and my sister like we would like play out a story like we were writing a story together, but we were writing the story of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And this went on for months, and we'd like build out the Middle Earth with Playmobil toys, and like we get all the toys out, and we would like add to the story ourselves. And I was under the impression that this was something that my father was putting together until I went to our local video store to, pick up a movie or something with my mom. And I was probably like 5 at the time, 4, 5 or 6. And the guy behind the counter goes, your copy of The Hobbit is overdue. You got to return it. And I remember realizing in that moment that my father was not, in fact, the author of Lord of the Rings. And I still give him shit about it to this day. Literally just weeks ago, I was telling my daughter that story, and we called him up to give him a hard time.
You have told me this story before. I am now remembering this.
Yeah. I probably told it on the podcast last week when we talked about the hot pack. The
Quite
Hobbit a little bit.
possibly. We're rarely sober when we do this.
That's true. I haven't had anything to drink today. I gotta re-listen to our last episode. I just listened to it enough to figure out what cryptid I was on.
Fair. Honestly, I typically edit the day it releases. So same thing. I'm like, whose week is it? I guess I'll find out when I edit. So if you get a text from me asking whose week it is, I actually got the edit done ahead of time.
Nice. Good to know.
Yeah, so how do you enjoy the movie?
I liked it. With a lot of the kind of older animated movies, or even I would say a lot of the 1970s, 1980s fantasy stuff we watched for this podcast, I have felt like the story was not only thin but kind of incomplete, and got kind of confusing. Like with Legend, remember we watched Legend, and I was like, I've had to like sit down with the Wikipedia after watching Legend to see if I could figure out what the plot actually was. So it's refreshing to watch this, where the story is already so simple,
And they
and I
simplified
think and they still simplified, but it still made sense. The problems I had with the story in this movie are problems I had with The Hobbit when I read the book of The Hobbit decades ago, which is I don't really understand why Gandalf just sort of shows up in Bilbo's house and is like, "Hey, you're coming along on this one, bud." I was like, okay, I guess he doesn't really seem like he wants to go, but they kind of like pressure him into it, and then he's just along for the ride.
I drunkenly figured it out while we were watching it, actually, and now I'm trying to remember what it was.
You're sure it was actually figuring it out, and it wasn't just you being drunk?
No, okay, I figured out why he was helping the dwarves in the first place. I still have no idea why he grabbed Bilbo to this day.
Oh, sure. Oh, what was it? Oh, so why Gandalf was helping the dwarves?
Yeah.
I think Gandalf's just a helpful guy. He goes around like doing good work.
Gandalf's literal job is to stop the forces of Mordor.
Oh, sure.
And in Lord of the Rings, when we finally get to that, the only dwarf you really meet is Gimli, despite them being so prominent in The Hobbit, and it's because the reason the dwarves aren't there is because the dwarves from the Misty Mountains and from like Thorin's the Iron Hills and stuff, they're attacking and fighting Mordor from the north, pulling half their forces away. So it's not really in the book, but I think Gandalf literally was like, this is a strategic location that we need to take back.
No, that makes perfect sense. 100%.
Like, yeah, I'm going to help you get this back because I see a big war coming, and I'm going to put you to work. They thought he was doing them a favor. He was setting them
I
up.
always figured it. I figured it had to be something like that. It's like it's a strategic plan against eyeball face, whatever his name is.
Sauron?
Sauron. Yeah, eyeball face.
Good old eyeball face.
Not Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee's boss. I definitely like this more than the Martin Freeman Hobbit movie, which I did not care for.
I hated it. I didn't even watch the third one.
I saw the first one in theaters again with my dad because me and my dad, after I forgave him for tricking me, we went and we saw all the Lord of the Rings movies in theaters. And it was a great like annual tradition. Like every year we go and we see those movies. And I was like, oh great, now there's more of these. And I remember I remember thinking when those came out, I was like, this book is like 300 pages long. It's not a very big book. How are they going to stretch this into a trilogy? And sitting in the theater going like, oh, they didn't succeed. This is so much filler.
It's so
And
bloated.
I was like, there's not enough story here to fill 9 hours worth of movie.
There's just not.
No,
Yeah.
I mean this was perfect at like what was it, under an hour and a half? This is like
It
an
was.
hour and 20 minutes. This
I
is
think it's,
hardly a movie.
yeah, I think it's an hour 10-15 when you don't have like the credits. Honestly, I think it's like an 80-minute movie.
Yeah, and they really get the whole thing. I was like, this is everything I remember from the book. Like, there's the encounter with the trolls, and they meet elves, and there's eagles, and there's Gollum, and there's the Battle of the Five Armies, which is, not like a huge set piece. Because, I mean, like, just hardly even really see it in the book.
Yeah, in the
And
book he gets
then,
knocked out almost immediately and wakes up after it.
right, I think we get more of the Battle of the Five Armies in this movie than we did in the book.
Yes, because there was a big anti-war sentiment at the time, so they put in the like "war is folly" message.
Yeah. This is the superior version. I'm just gonna say it. Like, and I like Martin Friedman. I like everyone involved in the live action Hobbit. That movie is no good. This
Yeah,
is better.
the only things that the animated one change or cut out is they completely cut out Bjorn, which, while very cool, is not like a necessary part to get you to the end. Um,
I don't remember who that is. I
Bjorn
haven't read
is
the book yet.
the guy who can turn into the giant bear. He lives in the middle of the, like, right at the edge of Mirkwood Forest before they enter.
I need to reread it.
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't.
thing.
I don't
He's
recall that character. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, and he does show up at the last battle to help them, but like he is just a giant bear, like a dire bear, basically.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, they do that, and they get rid of the entire plot arc with the Arkenstone, which honestly was my least favorite part of the book anyway. And they're able to explain the tension in about 5 minutes instead of 5 chapters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a great adaptation. My mom used to read us The Hobbit as bedtime stories. Similarly, so like this was one of my first VHSs. We had this. We had the record for the album with like the flip book picture art and stuff.
Oh wow, I remember those.
Yeah. So I've always just loved this, and they take such weird. The art is so weird in this. I love it, but it is definitely some artistic interpretations of trolls and goblins and Gollum and even the wood elves.
Oh yeah, the Wood Elves were really cool. I liked how they did the Wood Elves.
Do you know who
It
did this?
was Rankin Bass.
Yes, but do you know who they hired to do it? Like to
Don't tell
animate
me.
it?
Oh, who was it?
They hired a now defunct Japanese company called Topcraft, which
Okay.
after this reformed as Studio Ghibli.
Oh, so the same people who did Last Unicorn, which we just did.
Yep.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, because it's got that kind of watercolor vibe, and I really like the animation in this.
Yeah. It is not a honest depiction of, or like it's not an accurate depiction of how these things are supposed to look in the book, but I think it's an awesome depiction, and the change doesn't actually affect anything.
No, the only thing that I kind of was thrown off by, I would say, would be Gollum, because he looks more like a giant salamander. It doesn't feel like this is a character that could have started as a hobbit and then kind of deteriorated. It felt like something that was always a creature like this.
Yeah, he's far too big. He is two Bilbos tall.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't think that worked. I yeah, and part of me was like, well, maybe they hadn't read the Lord of the Rings and they didn't know. But I was like, oh, those books were like 40 years old at this point. They should have been pretty well aware that Gollum was going to turn out to have been a hobbit at one point.
I mean, if it was animated in Japan, they might not have known.
Well, that's fair.
But how
Or
did
if they
speak?
thought they were just doing a one-off, they're not thinking about the next three movies or whatever it would have been.
Yeah, exactly. Although they did do the Return of the King, and exact same animation style, and they even reused some of the songs. So Gollum does make it through there, although they do shorten him a little bit for Return of the King.
Yeah, and I want to now. I do want to go watch, and I always say that I want to watch those old animated Lord of the Rings because I hadn't. I'm always trying to watch more Ralph Bakshi movies, and he did the first one, I think, or he didn't do the Hobbit. He
He
did
did
the
the Lord
Fellowship
of
of
the
the Ring,
Rings.
Lord of the Rings, but I think they went back to Rankin Bass directing
Well,
for Return of the King.
so that was a weird thing. So for a hot minute, Tolkien fell into the public domain,
Oh,
and that's when all of these happened. So Rankin Bass rushed to do The Hobbit, and the movie was actually supposed to be two movies. It was supposed to be The Lord of the Rings Part 1 and The Lord of the Rings Part 2 because the Lord of the Rings movie is very good, but it stops abruptly. Like they don't finish. And I mean, The Return of the King luckily got made at the same time that they were supposed to be making part 2, but the director got into a fight with the head of the company, and part 2 got canned. So luckily we got The Return of the King, but Rankin Bass was just, I think they were hoping that that would happen. Like, okay, well, we'll make the third movie because part 1 can only do Fellowship and half of the Two Towers. And they actually got sued at Rankin Bass to try and stop them from releasing the Return of the King, so that part 2 could come out. But the director wouldn't come back.
wild.
Yeah, but how did you feel about it as a spooky film, and did your daughter watch it with you?
You did not. No, I didn't even. I didn't even really try and get her to watch this one. As a spooky kids movie, I think it worked pretty well. I think it's simple enough because The Hobbit is a children's story. Like you're saying, your mom read it to you as a bedtime story. I got it as a bedtime story. It's nice. It's simple. It's easy to follow. And there's not like, yeah. One of the things about Lord of the Rings is there's just like so much lore. Um, Whereas this really, out of anything in the Lord of the Rings canon, this really stands on its own as a nice, easy, accessible, simple story. So I think that's successful. I don't think it's too spooky. I think there's parts which are kind of spooky, especially the Gollum scene where they're underground and they're having that kind of that riddle
Riddles in the
contest.
Dark? I think they did Riddles
Yeah,
in the Dark really well.
yeah, I thought that was really good. Um, but even like the goblin stuff, I don't think that was too bad. I think the violence wasn't bad. I think that a kid who is not too I don't think this would scare off a kid who's not into spooky stuff. It's very very spooky light.
I think they do a great job of keeping a constant, a near constant, like atmosphere of tension, which in itself isn't spooky, but they use a lot of like dark palette tones and stuff.
Hmm.
And I think it just like creates a really good atmosphere because like even when the dwarves show up at the end or at the beginning, Bilbo is actively stressed and you're following Bilbo, so you are also kind of like, all right, what's going on here? And then you immediately jump into the trolls, and then you get the goblins, and then you get Gollum, and then you get the spiders and the wood elf. Like it is beat after beat after beat. Like another dungeon, another cave, another monster. So I think it does a pretty good job of like maintaining that spookiness without being outright scary.
Mm. Yeah. No, I wonder. I don't know that. I don't know how easy it would be to get a kid to watch it because it the animation's dated. It doesn't have that sort of manic editing style that's so popular with kids in media right now. Did your son watch it with you?
He is obsessed.
You're kidding.
Fully obsessed. Oh my
Wow.
god. Yeah, he ran when we were at the Ren Fair last year. I bought him like a wooden elven sword, and he immediately, when they got their weapons in the troll cave, ran and got his wooden sword and like took the journey with them.
Oh,
He
that's so cute.
immediately wanted to, like, the next day he got back from preschool because we watched it right before bedtime, like idiots, in case it did go wrong. And yeah, he came back from preschool and was just like, "Can I watch The Hobbit again?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I told him there was two more, and he is stoked.
That's
And
great.
some things, like, he is a spooky kid. He likes spooky stuff, but some stuff does scare him. And at no point was it too much for him, I think, scary wise. He ran out of the room once, but I think he was just like overly excited and needed to work out some of that 5-year-old energy.
Oh, sure. Is he 5 already?
Yeah. Yeah,
Man.
I don't know. It's weird.
Time. I hate time.
I hate it so much. One of my high school friends had a kid when we were in college, and I just found out their kid is getting married.
Oh no.
Yeah. My brother called because she was between me and my brother grade wise in school, but he's stayed in touch with her. And like I was there when her baby was like brought home from the hospital. Like I remember like her daughter being so small, and now it's like, oh yeah, no, she's in her 20s, she's getting married soon, and I'm just like, what?
Sure, because they were born in 2000. When were we in college? We went to
Three to
college in
seven.
2003. If the baby was born in 2003, that baby's
22.
22 years old now. A
Mm-hmm.
regular, an actual regular adult that you can interact with as a real adult and not a your friend's kid because that person's an adult.
Yep.
Oh man, we are getting into the age where it's not going to be unusual for our peers to have grandkids.
I know. I have friends, yeah, who have kids like dealing with college right now, and I'm like, we grew up together. What do you mean your kid's going to college?
It's like, no, we're still babies, sir.
I feel like everyone mentally like stops like aging around like 27, 28. After that you just pile on experience. So we all still think like we're 27, and then we have to like do the math to
Oh yeah, no, I stopped aging at 28. I
yeah.
was like, no, 28. I was like, I'm 28. I'm done. I never want to be older than 28.
I feel like no one ever really matures past 28. You just, again, you get a lot of experience. It's like you get like skills and bonuses and stuff. It's
Yeah. No, I'm distributing my experience points. Uh, The Hobbit.
The Hobbit. Yeah, so I love this movie. It again, I highly recommend you continue the series, even if you skip Lord of the Rings and just watch Return of the King.
Mhm.
Just because it picks up like right at the beginning of the Return of the King, and you're with Sam and Frodo, but the animation's the same, the voice actors are the same, The music's the same. They even so the one thing I don't like about this movie is they took a lot of Tolkien's songs that he wrote in the books, like lyrically, and made them into songs for the movie. And I actually think most of them they did like a really good job with, but they added an original song, and that's the one I've always hated.
That's the one that they parody on that episode of South Park.
The Greatest Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I couldn't help but think of that while I was watching this, as much as I wanted not to.
and they do bring it back for the Return of the King. Like it's a nice little like carry through, but I just hate it. Um, but that was a movie where they had a bunch of famous people at the time that like the names mean nothing now. Like Brother Theodore and Orson Bean.
Oh, sure. I know it was John Huston played Gandalf for this. I think we talked about John Huston a little bit in I think he was in The Last Unicorn. We talked about him then. I like
Yes.
him. He was in Chinatown. He's a great actor. But I don't think I knew anybody else in this. I think it was just
Yeah.
him.
I'm aware of Brother Theodore, but like yeah, no, it's just like I had no idea that it was anything more than just like voice actors for this. I didn't realize they'd gotten like famous people.
Mm.
But yeah, I take umbrage with how they depicted the wood elves only because the high elves looked fine.
Hmm.
I'm like, guys, they're the same species. They just like, oh man, they're not that different. But it it was good. I mean, I really enjoy it, and this made me want to watch the Lord of the Rings 1, 2 now. See if I can get my son to watch that.
Yeah. No, I want to. I'm gonna check out more of these.
They're on the Plex.
All right.
If you can get onto the Plex.
If I can, I'll figure it out. I was having some trouble, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, no. When these came out, they were not like amazingly well received, and honestly, I think they were just before their time.
Yeah, that
Like
seems fair.
everyone was so mad that they weren't like perfect adaptations of the book, and I'm like, they did the heart of the story though. Like the Hobbit itself came across, and I feel like that's what's more important.
Yeah, I think it was a faithful, maybe not 100% faithful, but I think it was spiritually a very strong adaptation.
All they
Again,
did
I think it did better than the Martin Friedman movie.
Well, that's because all they did for the animated was omit a few scenes. Meanwhile, the animated, or not the animated, the live action just added a ton of scenes. And it's just like, you can usually cut some parts of a story and still keep it a good story, but when you just start shoving things in there is when you start getting problems.
Yeah.
Alright, you got anything else about The Hobbit?
No, no, recommend.
Alright.
I'd recommend this movie. If anybody wants to check it out.
Highly, highly recommend all three. Go do it. Let us know how you feel.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. So, yeah, if you watch The Hobbit, let us know what you thought of it. Do you have anything else you think we should cover in the future? Be sure to give us a shout out on our Instagram or on Facebook. We are at RT Spirits Pod. And I'm checking the socials again, trying to keep up with it.
Alright. Well, as always, I'm Steve,
I'm Sam.
and good night.
Bye.